Welcome back, Pokemon trainers. Professor Chaz here. The lab coat's on back order, and it's time for this week's Pokemon Omega Ruby team building video to prepare for the rotation battles and the free battle and battle spot. So in the last week, we actually had Sprout the Mega Venusaur. From a previous week some time ago, we had Blaze the Mega Charizard. To round out the Kanto starter collection, this week the team captain is Sheldon the Mega Blastoise. So I'm going to use him in the team, and I'm going to assemble the rest of the team based around his typing coverage and such like that. So without any further ado, let's get right into the team building aspect of the team builder video and see who I've assembled, and I'll let you know the strategies, the held items, and the movesets that go with all of them. So let's begin. So here he is, Sheldon the Blastoise, our team captain for the week, and our Mega Blastoise once we get him into battle. He is a calm Pokemon, which is an increase to the special defense and lowering the attack stat, which is good because Mega Blastoise is more on the special offensive side than anything else. And the ability is Torrent for the time being, so if regular Sheldon gets low on the HP, he'll get the Torrent ability kicked in, and his water moves will become more powerful. But of course, when he Mega Evolves into Mega Blastoise, he gains the Mega Launcher ability, which increases by 50%, I believe, a certain number of moves that makes use of the Super Mega Water Cannon that Mega Blastoise has on its back. Of course, the held item is Blastoisinite to allow for Mega Evolution. The moveset begins with one of those water moves that gets powered up by Mega Launcher. It is Water Pulse. Now, normally I do have Scald on Sheldon. The chance to cause a burn is pretty high, and the burn is quite beneficial. Water Pulse, I believe, has the same chance to cause confusion, but normally burn is a little bit more effective because confusion is basically a 50-50 chance that the opponent is going to break through and still land their attack. Also, confusion does wear off. A burn is permanent, and it causes a drop to the attack stat, and it's more reliable, but I want to make use of the Mega Launcher, so I'm going with Water Pulse instead of Scald. He also has Dragon Pulse and Dark Pulse, two other Pulse moves that are improved by the Mega Launcher, and Avalanche is a move we're probably not even going to use this week, but it's a move he can't relearn. It's from a previous generation move tutor, and I like having the versatility if a Grass Pokemon is on the field, going after him for an attack. On another week when we might have him sort of more physically offensive, Avalanche is still going to pull through. For the Super Training, you'll see we maxed out the special attack stat, put an equal amount into the special defense and the defense, trying to keep our Blastoise, our Mega Blastoise, pretty defensive on the battlefield as we get some of those Mega Launcher attacks fired off. So the first Pokemon joining Sheldon on the team for this week's rotation battles is going to be Grub the Levani. Grub here is a serious Pokemon, as you'll see, so it's a neutral nature with nothing increased or nothing dropped. Chlorophyll is the ability. In Bright Sunlight, Grub is going to increase, I believe it's double, the speed stat. And the item is Focus Sash because as a grass and bug type, chances are he is going to get one shot by a couple of different attacks. I'm thinking flying and fire are most likely to do that. I want to make sure he stays in for at least one turn and get some of his strategies off. So his first move you'll see is Leaf Blade. He is a physically offensive Pokemon, and Leaf Blade is a physical grass type attack, so he gains stab from it. It is pretty powerful, and I can't recall if it has a chance to high critical hit or not, but it's pretty powerful regardless. Now, Electro Web is a special type move. It's electric type, but what I'm doing this week, now I realized last week with Snapper the Totodile, I kind of went a little overboard with speed control, and I've sort of rethought my process on that. What I want to do is have my faster Pokemon try to get the speed control if possible, because the slower Pokemon are the ones that are going to need it more and benefit from it. If I can have a faster Pokemon slow down the opponents, then that's going to be the way to go. So Grub is our second fastest this week, second only to the next Pokemon we're going to take a look at, I believe. And Electro Web always slows the speed stat of the opponent when it lands. Now, of course, electric type means I can't hit a ground type, but we'll see everything else loosen speed stat when we hit with that. And Grub will be our light screen setter for this week, going to increase our special defense for the team, and if we do get Grub down pretty low, if the Focus Sash hasn't triggered yet, and I want to try to make use of that, I can use Synthesis, try to get back up to full HP, at which point the Focus Sash will still be active as long as we haven't used it yet. For the Super Training, you'll see we just went ahead and maxed out the attack stat and the speed stat for our Levani. We want to put the Super Training where it counts for this particular Pokemon. The next Pokemon on the team is going to be actually not the next fastest, it's going to be one of the slowest ones. It is Sailor the Musharna. Sailor is a relaxed Pokemon which increases the defense and lowers the speed, so if she wasn't fast to begin with, she's certainly not any faster now with that nature. The ability Synchronize says if she gets hit by a special condition, she'll pass that off to the opponent that hit her with it. And since she has the, I believe, the best defense and the highest HP of the team this week, Leftovers is the held item, going to heal back some HP every single turn. For the moveset, now the last three moves, Yawn, Nightmare, and Moonlight, they're all moves that a Musharna cannot relearn. They're moves that are inherited from her time as a Muna, or Munna. Still not sure how to pronounce that. And Psychic is going to be the only offensive move. It is Stab. I kind of play back and forth using Psyshock or Psychic on Sailor. And this week I decided to go for a little bit more power. Psyshock is 80 power while Psychic is 90. The difference being Psyshock hits as a physical kind of attack, and Psychic hits as a special attack, using the different defenses of the target. And Yawn and Nightmare will go hand in hand. We can yawn the opponent to sleep. Even if they rotate out, they are still drowsy, so the moment they come back to the active spot, they'll fall asleep at the end of that next turn. Nightmare will cause increasing damage on a sleeping Pokemon. Might not really get to make use of that too much, because if the opponent swaps out into a different spot on the rotation platform, then of course we can't really Nightmare something if it's hidden away in the back. And just in case the leftovers are not doing the trick, we do have Moonlight for our Sailor here. We're going to heal back 50% of her HP. If we can somehow get the Sunny Day up, which we actually don't have on the team this week, but if the opponent sets up a Sunny Day, we're going to heal back more with the Moonlight as well as Grub's Synthesis. So for the super training, we wanted to even up the defenses quite nicely. They're both at 260, so we maxed out special defense, we got the defense up to the same amount, and put the remainder into the HP just to give her a little bit more health that way. Now the third Pokemon joining Sheldon on the team is going to be Scales the Salamence. Scales is our fastest Pokemon this week. He's an impish Pokemon, which actually is an increase to the defense stat, lowering the special attack, which is okay. I like having a physically offensive Salamence anyway, so lowering the special attack's not that bad. And the Intimidate ability means it's going to drop the attack stat of the opponent's Pokemon as soon as he comes out of the Pokeball. So chances are he's going to be my lead Pokemon in pretty much every battle, because a free Intimidate is not bad. Unless the opponent might have Defiant or Competitive on their Pokemon, I'm going to want to drop the attack stat depending on what they're going to lead with. And Wide Lens is the held item. It's going to increase by a little bit the accuracy of all the moves that Scales will be using. As you'll see, a number of them have not perfect accuracy, but the Wide Lens should boost it to the full 100%. First off, the first move is Dragon Claw, which is Stab. Pretty powerful with an attack set of 350 behind it. And Steel Wing, Fire Fang, and Rock Tomb. Those are the ones that aren't fully accurate. Of course, as I say, Wide Lens should help should help offset the lowered accuracy. Steel Wing has a slight chance to increase the defense of the user, and it's going to be super effective against any fairy types that Scales happens to find himself up against, along with rock types and ice types as well, actually. Fire Fang, again, good against ice types, and we could cause a burn. Now, it's a pretty slim chance, but we could also cause a flinch with that, too. And for a little bit of speed control, since this is our fastest Pokemon, he's got the Rock Tomb. We're going to be able to drop the speed stat of anything he hits. Nothing's immune to Rock Tomb. We're going to be able to slow the speed down of anything on the opposing side. The super training began with not maxing out, but putting a good amount into speed and attack, putting it where it counts, and trying to get the defenses up quite nicely. Got the physical defense at 249, special defense is at 200. Of course, these are level 100 stats. The fifth Pokemon for the team this week is going to be Fluffy the Clefable. You'll see she is a sassy Pokemon. That's an increase to her special defense and lowering the speed, which is always nice because the Clefable are not known for being super fast to begin with. The ability Cute Charm says if she's hit by an opponent of the opposite gender, there's a chance they can become infatuated and possibly start losing some turns. But again, of course, they can probably just rotate right out. This is going to be interesting. I didn't consider this, but if they rotate out and I rotate Fluffy out to a back spot at some point, will they still be infatuated? Because she's still in play, she's just not active. That's going to be interesting to see if it actually plays out. Anyway, the item is going to be Lumberry. In case they try to hit her with a status condition, the Lumberry will cure it up right away. Starting off the moveset, we have Dazzling Gleam for the stab bonus, and it's going to be super effective against any possible Mega Rayquaza that we happen to find. Thunder Wave is the next one for possible speed control. Now, she's not one of our faster Pokemon, but where she does have pretty good defenses, she can probably take a hit and then paralyze something, thereby allowing the rest of my team to outspeed, probably except for Sailor. She's pretty slow to begin with, and even Thunder Wave's not really going to help her that much. And Reflect is going to be the next move. Fluffy is our physical defensive wall setter for the team. And Moonlight, again, much like on Sailor, we're going to be able to heal back 50% of our life if Fluffy has taken some damage. We can get that Moonlight up for a nice little heal. For the super training, we put a good amount into the defense, put a decent amount into HP, and the two special stats we drop the remainder of the super training into, just to try to even her out a little bit there. The final Pokemon for the team this week is going to be Pokémon the Hariyama. He is a lonely Pokemon. That's kind of sad. It increases the attack stat while decreasing defense, so that's actually kind of not sad. A boosted attack stat is always nice on a physical fighting type attacking Pokemon. His ability is Guts, so if he has a status condition, his attack stat, I believe it's either 50% or doubled. I'm going to say 50% because doubled would be insane, but attack stat increases by at least 50% when he has a status condition, and the way to get the status condition is the held item of Flame Orb. Now, when a Pokemon with Guts is burned, normally a burn will lower the attack stat, but not if you have Guts. The Guts ignores the attack drop of a burn, it just gives you that bonus of, let's say, 50% higher, and going to make all the attacks hit that much harder. Starting off, we have Low Sweep. That is more speed control. Now, as I've said, he's slower, and his defenses are not super good, but if we can at least get one Low Sweep off with a pretty high attack stat, possibly Guts boosted as well, if not the speed control aspect, we're going to do some pretty serious damage, because it is Stab. And we didn't have a ground-type attack on the team this week, so I went with Earthquake, which could be pretty powerful against any Primal Groudon we might happen to find. Ice Punch is there for coverage for flying types and possible other dragon types, again if we see Mega Rayquaza. And Knock Off will be good against anything except Mega Evolutions and Primal Reversions, or Arceus, if it happens to come into battle. We'll be able to take off whatever item the opponent is holding, and get rid of the benefit that way. For the Super Training for Pokémon, we maxed out the attack stat, even up the defenses at 161, 160 each for physical and special defense. That is going to be your team, or rather my team, for the rotation battles, and I believe it's week number 11 of the Omega Ruby rotation battles in the free battle in Battle Spot this week. Feel free to leave me a comment down below, let me know what you think of the team I've assembled, and any ideas for different strategies or different movesets that I can implement in future battles if I bring these Pokemon back, which I will of course at some point. With all that being said, we're going to end off the team builder, and I hope to see you back here tomorrow on the channel to check out how the actual rotation battles themselves go as we get into the free battles. With all that being said, I want to say thank you for checking out the team builder, and I'll catch you next time.